Okay, reading text in 6/8, page 36. Like I continually say in the other videos, I'm going to break this down into two segments. You count 6/8 as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to break down the counts of 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6, and then do the measure complete. You want to play your bass drum on the counts of 1 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And notice there's no accents, no dynamic markings, no expressions or whatever, emotion things or whatever you want to call them. And it's recommended that you play alternate strokes coming down from the same spot. The right hand and the left hand sound the same. Okay? Now, on 36, I did something a little different. I'm going to introduce you to the tie. Now, the rule, when a note is tied over to another note, you don't play that note. Now, there's other ways to write this, but I figured I'd throw a couple ties here and there so you become familiar with it. I could have put a couple rests or noted it a little differently, but occasionally you're going to see ties. Usually it's extending the value of the note or extending the note, the sound of the note. Right now we're just playing rhythmically, so just kind of bear with it. And we're going to start with line 1, measure number 1, page 36. Now you look at measure number 1, you see there's a note tied from the count of 2 to 3. That means you do not play 3. And then if you go to 4, 5, 6, it's tied from 5 to 6. You don't play 6. So with that being said, here we go. I'm going to play it with one hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I could have wrote that with an eighth note rest on the count of 3 and the count of 6, but if they're going to extend the sound, if it's a trumpet or a guitar or a piano, they're extending the sound over to the next note. So when a note is tied from one note to another, you do not play it. Again, let me do line 1, measure number 1. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Line 1, measure number 1, complete. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we go to measure number 2, line 1. I'll break it down. Now you have 1, 2, and 3. Remember, it's tied over to 3. You don't play it. And now you have 4, 5, 6. But you have to be careful because I extended the tie to the next measure. So the rule remains into effect when you hit the next measure. Let's do line 1, measure number 2, complete. 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6. Now remember, it's tied over to the third measure. So we're going to do line 1, measure number 3. You're taking the note tied to the 1. You do not play the 1. So we have 1 and 2 and 3. Then 4, 5, and 6 and. Measure number 3, line 1, complete. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5, and 6 and. Measure number 4, line 1. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Now you're tied over to 4. You do not play 4. 4, 5, 6. Okay, line 1, measure number 4, complete. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, I'm playing the bass drum on 1 of 4, only to continue with a pulse. Has nothing really to do with what's written. It's just standard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we continue down to line 2, measure number 1. You have 1 and 2 and 3 and then 4, 5, 6. Line 2, measure number 1, complete. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 5, 6. Okay, line number 2, measure number 2. Again, we come across the tie. So we have 1, 2, 3, and it's tied over to the 4. You don't play it. 4, 5, and 6. Line 2, measure number 2, complete. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. Okay. Line 2, measure number 3. Now you come across the dot again and also the tie. The dot, let me give you the definition again, increases the value of the note by 1/2 the original value. So if you take an 8th note, it equals 2/16. So you place a dot after it, it's going to increase that value by 1/2 this. So it's going to equal to 3/16. Okay, so we're going to do line 2, measure number 3. All right? 1, 2, and, 1, 2, and 3, and then you tie it over to the 4, and you don't play it. 4, and 5, 6. Line 2, measure number 3, complete. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, 6. Okay, measure number 2, line number 2, measure number 4. I'm not accustomed to talking as much. I'm always playing, but bear with me. You understand. Line number 2, measure number 4. Broken down. 1, 2, E, and 3. Then 4, 5, 6. Hello, Rib. Okay, line number 2. Measure number 4, complete. 1, 2, E, and 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, now we go to line 3, measure number 1. Now be careful with the tie. The note that is tied to, you do not play. All right, I could have wrote this out as a 16th note rest in between the triplet, but it's just another way of writing to tell you not to play that note. So here we go, broken down. Line 3, measure number 1. 1 and 2, 3. Okay, now we have 4, 5, 6. That's going to be 4, 5, 6, and. Line number 3, measure number 1, complete. 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and. Line 3, measure number 2. As you see now, it's not that the patterns are getting repetitive, it's that you should be having the knowledge that you've accumulated already, and things are starting to run a little smoother and it's a little easier because you're more familiar with the figures. So we're going to go to line 3, measure number 2. 1 and 2, 3. Then 4 and 5E and 6. Okay, line 3, measure number 2, complete. 1 and 2, 3. 4 and 5E and 6. Okay, again, we go, the tie is going to come into view. Line 3, measure number 3. Okay, now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You do not play the 5 because it's tied over. All right, measure number 3, line 3, complete. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Line 3, measure number 4. Okay, 1, 2, and 3, and. Then 4 and 5 and 6. Line 3, measure number 4, complete. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6. right, now, line 4, measure number 1. Be careful of the tie. You're tied over to the end of the triplet, so therefore you're not playing the end of the triplet. So line 4, 1 and 2 and 3. Then 4, 5 and 6. Line 4, measure number 1, complete. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 and 6. Line number 4, measure number 2. 1, 2 and 3 EN, and then 4, 5, 6. Line 4, measure number 2, complete. 1, 2 and 3 EN, 4, 5, 6. Okay, line 4, measure number 3. We have 1, 2, 3 and, then 4 and 5 and 6. Line 4, measure number 3, complete. I'll slow that down a little bit. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. Line 4, measure number 4. 1 and 2, 3. Then 4 and 5, 6. Line 4, measure number 4, complete. 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6. Okay, line 5, measure number 1. 1, 2 and then 3, 1, 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6. Line 5, measure number 1, complete. 1, 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're going to go to measure number 2. Don't forget, you're tied over to the 1. So therefore you're not playing the 1. So second measure, line 5. 1, 2 and 3. Again, 1, 2 and 3. Then 4, 5, 6. Line 5, measure number 2, complete. 1, 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6. Line 5, measure number 3. 1 E and 2 E and 3. Then 4 and 5, 6. Line 5, measure number 3, complete. 1 E and 2 E and 3, 4 and 5, 6. Line 5, measure number 4. 1, 2 and 3 and then 4, 5, 6 and. Okay, line 5, measure number 4, complete. 1, 2 and 3 and 4, 5, 6 and. Okay, now we go to line 6, and it looks a little hairy, but it's not if you figure it out. You have ties and you have a 30-second no rest, and you can figure this out. Okay, line 6, measure number 1. 1 and 2 and 3. Then you have 4 E and 5, 6 and. Line 6, measure 1, complete. 1 and 2 and 3. 4 E and 5, 6 and. Line 6, measure number 2. Again, the tie. So you have 1 and 2, 3. Remember, it's tied over to the 3, so you're not playing that. Then you have 4 and 5, 6. Line 6, measure number 2, complete. 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6. Okay, line 6, measure number, I guess that, no, we'll do it again, measure number 3. You have a quarter note rest, that's 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, and 6. Remember the rest. So you have 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6, and 6. I'm sorry, that's my mistake. That's a misprint. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5. That is a misprint. Okay, let's eliminate that measure. Line 6, third measure, it's a misprint. Okay, it's tied over. Okay, you have 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. Sorry about that, misprint. Okay, line 6, fourth measure. You have 1 and 2, 3, 4, I'm sorry, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, I'm sorry about the misprint there. So far, out of 4 books, there's been only 2 misprints. Okay, so if you want me to correct it, just contact me, and I'll send you an additional line. But that's a mistake. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6 should be a 8th note there instead of a quarter note. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. Sorry. You could always change that to an 8th note instead of the quarter note. The last note. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. Okay. That completes page 36. And again, I apologize for the misprint. So, if anybody feels inclined to purchase the book, visit my website under the products. I have 4 publications. Scroll down to the end of the page, to the bottom of the page, and you'll see a code. If you want to buy any of the books, enter the code, and you will receive a 20% discount. Also, I have a free trial membership going, 2 weeks for live online lessons. I left my website, and I will leave my email. Okay, gentlemen, so that takes care of page 36. We're going to go to page 37 next. Thank you.